You are listening to the Speech Space Podcast, a podcast full of tips and resources for SLPs. I'm your host, Jessica Cassidy, and this is episode 16. Hey everyone, I'm here today to talk about using some fun fall-themed activities in speech therapy. I find that using themed and seasonal ideas is a nice way to mix things up and keep things interesting. I've even put together a handout with these ideas, so if you're like me and you forget everything that you see on Pinterest or online, wherever, just stick around till the end and I will let you know how you can grab that freebie at the end of the show. Okay, so my first idea for you is to create a fall sensory bowl or basket. So this is really easy to do. Just walk around your neighborhood or even around your school grounds. Pick up some things like pine cones, twigs, acorns, leaves, birdseed. Any of these things are great for a sensory bowl. Now, what you can do with that is you can obviously work on vocabulary. I think that's probably the most obvious and easiest thing that you can do with it. You can do comparing and contrasting. It's also a great sensory experience for little ones that, are really into sensory activities. So that's a great idea as well. And, the ideas that you can do with that are really endless. You can work on plural nouns. I have one acorn, I have two acorns. That's my acorn, that's your acorn. You could do little acorn, big acorn, a lot of concepts, a lot of different things that you can do. So like I said, really the options are endless with that activity. The other thing that you could do is to make a bird feeder craft. So you could take your speech session outdoors and find a pine cone and then have the other materials for that in your speech room, or you could just bring the pine cones in if you want to keep it simple. And this is great for following directions because you're going to tell them how to create this pine cone bird feeder. And if you're not familiar with those, all you really need is some yarn to tie on the pine cone. I wouldn't do peanut butter because of allergies, but you could do sun butter, and then some bird seed that you're gonna pour on to stay on the sun butter for the birds to eat. And you're gonna give them the directions for how to complete that task. And then after they're done, what you can do is you can have one for yourself that you did not create, and you can have them retell how to create the bird feeder. So then they're also working on giving steps to complete a task and retelling the directions to you. My next idea is fun. It's called Find the Acorn game. And this is a great one for kids who are working on descriptive language. So what you do is you have your students hide the acorn, and then they have to give you clues to help you find the acorn either in your speech room or somewhere around the school, or you could even do it outside if that worked. So maybe they're going to say, okay, it's between the cabinet and the chair, or it's somewhere up high, somewhere down low. They have to give you all the clues that they can think of to help you find where it is. And it's a nice visual reinforcer, for you to kind of go towards what they're describing. So they see as they're using their words and becoming more and more descriptive, it's helping you to be more successful to find that acorn. And it's a fun time. Kids really love doing that. The last idea is a reinforcer game. And that is just to have a little basket or a little bucket or a cup, whatever you have on hand. And instead of using your usual reinforcers, let your students collect an acorn after each trial or task. And, they'll have a lot of fun watching their baskets or buckets fill up. So you don't really need to go beyond that. But if you want to, you could even have it kind of like a token system where they cash in if they get a certain number of acorns. But I have not even found that that's necessary. They usually just like filling up their cup or their bucket with acorns. They find that that's fun enough. So, all right. Well, I hope that you guys enjoy these ideas. Like I said, I did put together a handout. You can grab that handout by going to www.thespeechspace.com/podcast and clicking on episode 16. Make sure that you check back next week where I will be talking about doing preference assessments. I really hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and I appreciate you tuning in. If you have found this podcast to be helpful to you in any way, I would be extremely grateful if you could take the time to leave a review on iTunes. That will help other SLPs like you to be able to find the show easier. And like always, if you have any questions for me, I can always be reached at jessica@thespeechspace.com. All right, guys, have a wonderful week, and we will talk soon.